Hello, everybody. Glad to see you here again. This is webinar number 8, week 8 as well. And today we're going to work again together with everything you've learned this week. But before we start, I really want to know how you feel today. I really hope that you're doing great. So if you really feel well, you can send number one in the chat as we usually do. And if you're not so good today and you wish that this could be better, you can send number 2. So let's check one more time. If you're doing great, this is number 1 in the chat. And if you're like, so, it's number 2. Okay? Number 1 for good, number 2 for so. I really hope to see that you're sending number 1, like everybody, but if it's number 2, that's totally fine. It happens sometimes. So don't worry. I really hope that your mood can be better, and I know that we can fix this. And now it's time for us to start. And let's see what you have learned this week. First of all, this is second conditional. And also the words about different countries, nationalities, and the stuff like the culture in these different places. But before we start, let's test how attentive you are. This is four-leaf clover test. Clover, this is the plant, the green plant that you can see here. And you need to find the four-leaf clover between the piglets in the picture, because you can see a lot of three, three, three leaf clovers here, but there is only one with four leaves. So guys, where can you see this? Where is that? You can write the place like in the middle or on the left, on the right, somewhere. And also you can write the color of the piglet that is next to your four-leaf clover. So guys, let's find this four-leaf clover. And by the way, do you know that in real life there is a saying that if you find four-leaf clover, then you will be very lucky and healthy. So guys, you can also check and try to find four-leaf clover in your real life. By the way, I have tried to search for this clover and it was really hard because there usually was three leaves and yeah, it was hard. But I think once or maybe even twice I have found this four-leaf clover, and then my day was very good. Okay, up right between yellow and pink piglets. Okay, cool. Is it like on the left or in the right? You can share with us. Come on, you can do this. Okay, any other ideas for these clovers? Up right between yellow and pink piglets. Okay, cool. We're gonna check it later at the end of the webinar, because now it's time for us to move on and it's time to revise the grammar. And as I've told you before, today we're talking about second conditional. And here it is, the structure, usage, and examples. You have already learned two other types of conditionals. This was zero conditional and first conditional. And today we're talking about another type, second conditional. So first of all, what's the structure? You remember I have already told you that conditionals, they have two parts. One is condition and another one is result. The same thing is with second conditional, but in this structure, if clause, if part, yep, was a condition, this must be past simple, past simple. And to be is with were. Any, like, no matter what pronoun you have, you still use were. What does it mean? If I were you, and then you say something, yeah, then if we visited something, like past simple in this part, and then in the result you need to use present conditional. So what's present conditional? Present conditional, this is the word would or wouldn't plus verb in bare form. Bare form, this is like the form without the word to. So it's like watch, read, buy, stop, and so on. You don't have any endings, you don't have any prepositions, you just like bare form, it's like without anything. Then usage. That's the most interesting part, I guess, because we use second conditional to talk about imaginary situations in the present or future. What does it mean? You have your present or your future, and you imagine the things that would happen if there was a condition. What does it mean? These things, they are not really true. Well, there is like a chance that this can be true, but usually you imagine these things. For example, if I won $1 million, I would buy a new car. You can say, come on, you can win $1 million. And I'll say, yeah, of course. But you don't have this million right now, and you imagine that this can happen. And there is really small percent that this can happen. That's why I say these are imaginary situations in the present or future. Then, if I were you, I would quit smoking. I would quit smoking, it means I would stop smoking. That's the same. But in this situation, you also imagine if I were you. Come on, you cannot become another person. Like, I am Anita and I cannot become Arena, or I cannot become Hardi, because you are different people and I cannot be you. I can only imagine that if I were you, then I would quit smoking. But I cannot do this. Then, if I were the president, I would lower taxes. Here in this situation, you again, you imagine this situation in the present or in the past because you're not the president. And then you're saying, if I were the president, I would lower taxes. Then this one, guys, this is also second conditional, but here the result goes first and only then you have the condition. Like, they would stay longer if they had more time. So the result, they would stay longer, it goes first. And then if they had more time, it goes to the next place. So it's like the condition why they would stay longer. Because if they had more time, then they could have stayed longer. Then, if I won $1 million, I could stop working. Here, you can see that there is the word could. This is the word could, the possibility, the word for possibility. So this can be used here as well, like to talk about the possibility, but usually you use would. Then if I had more free time, I could travel around the world. The same thing. It means that you don't really have free time, but if you had, then you could, or you would travel. Then the information on the right, you can see let's have a look at this, like to sum up everything I've told you like 2 seconds ago, if I can say so. So second conditional, it's if plus past simple, then would plus infinitive. If I were rich, I would travel around the world. So we use the structure if plus past, would plus infinitive to talk about an improbable or hypothetical situation and its consequence. So what I'm saying, like, come on, now it's not true, but maybe this can happen to you. Okay, guys, I really hope that you understand this stuff, and if you don't, then there will be Q&A, questions and answers, when I can answer your questions. So it's time for us to start the practice. And here we need to read the sentences and open the brackets to write the full form of these sentences in the second conditional, of course. So let's start. If I be you, I get a new job. So guys, let's open the brackets together. Your task is to write number one and write the sentence. Or you can write what you have in brackets. If you don't want to write the whole sentence, then it's totally fine. You can just open the brackets, then write a comma, and then write another word that you have in the different brackets, okay? Or just whatever, just write the whole sentence. But please, you need to start writing, okay? Let's do this. We need to practice a lot. If I was you, I get a new job. Yeah, almost. As you can see, I've told you that usually, well, it's not a big mistake if you say if I was you. It's not a big mistake. You can use like this, but it's more like conversational English, I guess, because if you want to follow the rules, you better say if I were you. And it's not a mistake. Don't think like you know that I and he, she, it was. Yeah, that's true. But in second conditional, we use it as were. If I were you, and then you say I get a new job, I would get a new job. Let's have a look at the structure one more time. You see that if plus past simple to be use were. You see this, yeah? And then present conditional, it means that you need to use the word would, and only then your bare form, the verb. So then it sounds like this. If I were you, I would get a new job. So that's it. This is how it works. If I were you, I would get a new job. So don't forget, please, about the word would in the result. It's very important. Sorry, number two. If he be younger, he travel more. What can you say about this one? Let's also write the answer in the chat and we can discuss it together. So, what about now number 2? If he be younger, he'd travel more. What can you say about this one? If he was younger, he would travel more. Okay, let it be. You can also say if he were younger. Then if we not be friends, I be angry with you. It's number 3. Your answer for number 3, please. If we not be friends, I be angry with you. I'm waiting for your replies there. Okay. Yeah. And if we were not friends, I would be angry with you. So you need to use past simple for be in the first part for condition if we were not friends. But in the second part, you don't use anything like this. You don't need to change the word be. You just add the word would here. Would be. And that's enough. Number 5. Oh, no. Number 4. Sorry. If I have enough money, I buy a big house. I'm waiting for a reply for this one. We don't have the word be here, so probably this is gonna be easier for you. I really hope so. If I had enough money, I would buy a big house. Yeah, please don't forget about the word would in the second part, in the result part. It's very important. I would buy a big house. Number 5. If she not be always so late, she be promoted. Okay, here we have this word be. It happens. Okay. If she wasn't so late, if she wasn't always so late, she would be promoted. So if you have this one, then it's correct. Then 6. If we win the lottery, we travel the world. Again, about the money. Okay. So if we win the lottery, we travel the world. Guys, let's write what do we have here. I believe in you. I know that you can write this one. Okay, then. So then if we won the lottery, we would travel the world. Number 7. if you have a better job, we be able to buy a new car. Maybe let's do this one. Number 7, if you have a better job, we be able to buy a new car. Your answers, I'm waiting for them. Okay. If you had a better job, we would be able to buy a new car. This is how it works. Then, number 8. If I speak perfect English, I have a good job. What can you say about this one? It's number 8. If I speak perfect English, I have a good job. So your replies right out there in the comments. I'm waiting for them. Okay, so if you have this option, then it's very good. If I spoke perfect English, I would have a good job. This is how it works. Okay, guys, we have 2 more. We have 9 and 10, and let's do this. And then I'll show you all answers for every sentence. You can see them at a time. Then, if we live in Mexico, I speak Spanish. Yes. So your replies out there, I'm waiting for them. Just gonna wait for a minute maybe. Okay, then. If we lived in Mexico, I would speak Spanish. And number 10, if she passed the exam, she be able to enter university. Okay, guys, it's number 10. Let's do this. That's the last one. We can do this. That's just the last one. Just like the finish point. We can do this. If she passed the exam, she would be able to enter university. Good. So it's time to see the answers. If I were you, I would get a new job. If he were younger, he would travel more. If we weren't friends, I would be angry with you. If I had enough money, I would buy a big house. If she weren't always so late, she would be promoted. If we won the lottery, we would travel the world. If you had a better job, we would be able to buy a new car. If I spoke perfect English, I would have a good job. If we lived in Mexico, I would speak Spanish. If she passed the exam, she would be able to enter university. Okay, guys, I remember you saying was almost all the time. It's not a mistake, but here it's better to use were. Okay, it's time for us to play a little bit with this cute thing, I think. So let me show you what we're doing here in this task. This is second conditional. We need to tap each box in turn to open them up and reveal the item inside. So I think maybe I'm gonna do random or even, I don't know, one by one. I don't know. Okay, and now guys, it's your own answers. So I'm reading this and you need to think what would happen if this thing happened to you? What would you do if this happened to you personally? So for example, if my home be on fire, you need to change this, yeah? What would you do? If my home was on fire, I would try, personally, I would try to I don't know, to use the water before the firefighters come. And of course, I would call them, of course. But before they come, I would try to do something with the fire on my own. What about you? Just comment down below, what would you do if your home was on fire? It's really interesting to know what would you do. What would you? Okay, I'm still waiting for your replies, guys. I'm gonna read them if you do have some. Okay, so any replies out there? If my home were on fire, I would call for firefighters. Yeah, that's a good point, of course. Okay, I think we can pick random, so probably this one. Okay, and here, guys, I'm not gonna change the brackets. You need to write everything. So if I live in India, and then what you do there. Don't forget that this is second conditional, so you need to open the brackets here, and also you need to use some special words that are used with second conditional in the result part. So just go ahead. I'm gonna read your answers. Okay, if I lived in India, I would meet new people. What else? If I lived in India, I would see the most beautiful places there. What else, guys? If I lived in India, I would eat India's traditional food. Well, sounds good. If my English be perfect, and your turn to open the brackets and write everything about this. So if my English be perfect, okay, if my English was perfect, I would work for an international company. Yep. What else? This one was good. What else? So, if my English was perfect, I would travel a lot. Okay, next one. If I not live in this country, don't forget to open the brackets and then finish the sentence. If I not live in this country, what are your ideas? If I didn't live in this country, I would live in, I don't know, Norway or America or Germany or France or whatever you want. Or maybe you have some other ideas. If I didn't live in this country, what would happen? If I didn't live in this country, I would travel to my country. Okay. If English not be an international language, that's an interesting question. Don't forget to open the brackets and write the answer. Like what you can say about this. If I didn't live in this country, I would live in France. Okay. If English weren't an international language, then German or Spanish would be an international language. Or any other ideas? If English weren't an international language, it would be hard to communicate with other people. If I not have an English lesson now, okay, we can change it like not lesson, but webinar. Yeah, it's not actually a lesson, it's a webinar. But imagine what would you do if you didn't have an English lesson now? If I didn't have an English lesson now, I would ride a bike. Yeah. If I didn't have an English lesson now, I would go to the beach. If I didn't have an English webinar or lesson, whatever, now, I would learn English on my own. What What are your other ideas, guys? Okay. If work be 7 days a week, hmm, just imagine that. If work were 7 days a week, I would feel very tired. What are your other ideas here? Just imagine that 7 days a week. Really hard, isn't it? If work were 7 days a week, I wouldn't have any free time. If there be no cars, one more for the previous one. If work were 7 days a week, I would die. Yeah, I actually had this in my head, but I didn't want to say it. Okay, if there be no cars, guys. So if there weren't no cars, the air would be clean. What else can you say? If there were no cars, it would be hard to travel. If only women work, hmm, if only women work. Hmm, weird question. Okay, if only women worked, this would be strange. All right then. If I have 300 pairs of shoes, so for what I can read, if I had 300 pairs of shoes, I would wear a different pair of shoes every day. What else do you think we can have here? If I had 300 pairs of shoes, I wouldn't know what to wear. It's literally me. Okay. If I buy a lion, interesting question actually. If I buy a lion, unusual, isn't it? So if I bought a lion, I would treat him like a cat. Or if I bought a lion, I would feed him with meat only. If I bought a lion, I would play with him every day. Cool. And we've got one more. If I win the lottery, this is the most interesting question, I think. Everybody likes to think about the money they could win. So what are your ideas? Just comment there, please. Example, if I won the lottery, I would start my own business. What can you say? Just let's do this. I'm gonna read your answers. So, if I won a lottery, I would buy a country house. Yeah. So maybe some people want to buy a house, some people want to buy a car, or maybe to start their own business. It happens. It depends actually. But we are ready with this game and we're doing good. So it's time for grammar questions and answers. We have discussed second conditional, and now if you have the questions about the second conditional type, you can write them now. But if you don't have any questions, then send a minus as usual. So guys, I'm waiting. I'm waiting to see neither your comments nor your questions. So one option out of two. Questions or minuses if you don't have any questions. Okay, cool. Minuses. So it's time to work with the vocabulary. And as I've told you before, today we're talking about culture. So first of all, let's look at these words here. These words are all about culture. Do you know all of them? You need to read them and then we can discuss what it means. If the word is new for you. So read these words, study them, make sure that you know them. But if you don't know the words, then write them in the chat and I'll explain everything to you. So 2 minutes for you to read the words. And then I can help you with the explanation. So I can read the words with you too. So beliefs, body language, civilization, culture, culture shock, custom, dance, dialect, diversity, ethnic group, folklore, gastronomy, holiday, language, lifestyle, monotheism, music, norm, polytheism, race, religion, socialization, society, stereotype, subculture, tourism, tradition, travel, trip, and value. So I suppose that monotheism and polytheism, these are new words for you. These words are about religion, and monotheism, it means that people believe in one God, because mono, it's one. But polytheism, it means that people believe not in one, people believe in many gods. Maybe you know, as it was in Greece, ancient Rome, they all, even though, even Slavic, old Slavics, they believed in many gods. So this was about polytheism, not one god. And then only after some time they got baptized and then they accepted polytheism. So like they can believe monotheism, I'm sorry. They believe in one God. Like one God created everything and we depend on this God. Okay, so I hope you read all words here. Do you have any other words that you want to know the meaning? So you're not saying a word, you're not commenting. So does it mean that you don't have any new words? I think yes. That is cool. So it's time to move to practice my culture and traditions. We need to use this worksheet to share more about your culture and the traditions of your family. So let's do it this way. You write the word, for example, foods that we eat, or just foods. Foods, two dots, and you say what traditional foods we eat in Ukraine. For example, borscht, or maybe um, I don't know, pampushki, yes. Then um, kovbosa or something. So your ideas. Okay, then. So what about the foods, guys? You can write. So what else do we have? Languages spoken in my culture, my favorite tradition from my culture, clothes worn in my culture, types of music we listen to, holidays celebrated in my culture, other interesting facts. So let's do this like about traditional Ukraine, vareniki. Yes, that's true. This is traditional food that we eat. That's true. But also about the music. We can listen to modern music, it's true, but maybe there is something special about our music. You can share this with us. So what else can you say, guys? Also, only about vareniki? Come on. If you don't know what to add to food, then write about something different. The languages, maybe, clothes, types of music, interesting facts. For example, I can share one interesting fact with you. Ukraine, I'm not sure if still, but Ukraine produced the biggest plane, Antonov Mriya. This is the biggest plane in the world. Imagine that. So this is the interesting fact. Okay, what about languages, traditions, holidays, music, clothes? Guys, let's do this. Come on. I can only see the word vareniki, but I know that vareniki is traditional food of Ukraine. What else? Traditional foods, traditional, I don't know, anything traditional. You can see here. Borscht. Okay. What languages do we speak in our culture? We speak Ukrainian, of course. This is our state language, but some people they speak other languages. So, for example, some people can speak English, a lot of people speak Russian, then maybe some Polish people. Like, everything is different. But our language, like traditional, this is Ukrainian, of course. Then holidays, New Year, Easter, that's true. Christmas, I would say. Cool. Then what about your favorite traditions from the culture, from your culture? Okay, I'm waiting. Or if you don't really know what your favorite tradition is, you can write about clothes worn in your culture. Yeah, like maybe some skirts and embroidered shorts. Embroidered shorts, they are used everywhere, no matter if it's a woman or a man or a child, anybody can wear an embroidered short. Then type of music, I think this can also be different because maybe teenagers like some other music, not really traditional, but then you can feel like this traditional music is really good. Okay, what about traditions? Actually, traditions from our culture. Some other traditions. Your favorite traditions, for example, going to the church or eating some tasty food. What do you like, guys? You can share with us. Come on, let's do this. Yeah, clothes, embroidered shorts, trousers. Yeah, that's true. But I need more. And you guys know more. Okay, then. Okay, I'm still waiting for your replies there. Okay, so then let's sum up. Languages spoken in our culture. It's Ukrainian and also some other languages that are for small amounts of people. And favorite traditions from culture. This can be celebrations. Then what else? Like going to the church and so on. Foods, vareniki, borscht, kovbasa, and so on. Then clothes worn in my culture, embroidered shorts, trousers, skirts. Yeah, and then holidays celebrated in my culture. Talking about holidays, these are like main Christian holidays like Christmas and Easter, but we also celebrate New Year, as you said. That's true. Then types of music we listen to. If we consider just not like culture, but all people, everybody will have different musical tastes. But these are for our culture. This is Ukrainian traditional music. Yeah, sometimes these are folklore songs, and also some old instruments that sound very nice. Okay, and other interesting facts. I have given you the fact about the plane Antonovia. It's super big. It's super big. Okay, what else? We can have like an interesting fact. Maybe you guys know any other interesting facts? Okay, I cannot really see that much. So then it's time for us to have vocabulary questions and answers. So we have discussed different words about culture. I hope that you have written them down. And now you can ask me the questions about these vocabulary, about what what words we can have for talking about the cultures, different cultures. So yeah, but if you don't have any questions, then just send a minus because I need to make sure that you don't have any questions. So guys, any questions from you? Cannot really see them. Do you have any? Please, if you don't, then just send a minus or just write, I don't have any questions. Then this will be easier for me to understand if you need my help or not. So no questions actually, but please, where are the minuses that you don't have any questions? It's kind of weird not to see even the minus. Okay, then I'm gonna wait for 30 more seconds. And then if you don't send any questions, then we can just move on because it's almost time to finish the webinar. Okay, then. So no questions from you. That's why let's check where the four-leaf clover was. It was right between this blue, I think, and the yellow piglets. It was in the right corner. So if you have found this clover, I think this will bring you hope and this will bring you happiness. Yeah. And you can try to search for real four-leaf clovers. It's summer, you can find different types of flowers everywhere. So don't think that it's kind of hard to find them. Okay, so guys, it's time to say goodbye. Let's sum up everything we have done today. So we have found our lucky flowers. Then we have discussed the grammar, second conditional, and I'm reminding you about the second conditional that we've got past simple, then the word would plus bare infinitive form. So don't forget about this. We use it to talk about imaginary situations in the present or the past. And probably this is all you need to know. Just have some practice with these types of conditional because you need to know the difference. And also the words about culture, the words about different national things, about different nationalities. So I think you know this well now. So have a nice week, everybody. See you. Goodbye.